Hey, good evening, everybody. We have got Diddy news. Diddy's been in court today, and they're challenging the Cassie video now, saying it's been doctored and it's been sped up. We've got Jay-Z news. We have got Jane Doe exposing Jay-Z's PIs, private investigators. And we've also got loads of Gene Hackman news concerning the suppression of the autopsy photos, the estate. Where's it going to go? It's a legal quagmire, apparently. And with the Gene Hackman news, I'm going to be joined by Al, who I've spent the day with today. Al has come and told me all of his crematorium stories. Al was a crematorium technician. He's also assisted the coroner, and he has been surrounded by death his whole life. The stories he told me today are absolutely mind-blowing. So he's going to come in when we get to the Gene Hackman segment and give his thoughts on this weird suppression of the autopsy photos and just the whole strangeness around the causes of death and what the hell's happened there. It's still really bizarre. So, thank you, Anne. Let me get the Diddy news up first. Here he is. Apparently his hair has turned white, they're saying now. So, they're saying Diddy shocked the court today with dramatic new look as he pleads not guilty to new forced labor allegations. He has dramatically changed his appearance with his new white hair and a white beard. Wow. He apparently has stopped coloring his hair and let his natural color come through with just over a month to go until the trial. And I predicted all along that that date was going to get moved. It's very close. I figured they would have been filing motions to move it by now. It'll be amazing if the fireworks of the trial happen in just over a month. So today, Diddy looked noticeably older, and he appeared to have put on weight, eating all that prison garbage, and not moving around as much, just sat on his ass in his cell all day, unless he's doing the burpees. Appeared to have put on weight as he walked into the federal court wearing a tan prison issue top and pants for the pre-trial hearing on Friday, today. He said, not guilty, when the judge read out the updated indictment, which included claims of forced labor. He was all smiles in court and waved to Christian King and Chance Combs. He stood up as he was arraigned on the new charges by Judge Subramaniam, who asked if he had seen the updated indictment. Yes, I have, sir, he replied in a clear voice. When the judge asked Diddy if he would like the indictment read out, Diddy declined and said, I'm fine. I waived the public reading. Sharon in the chat, my head is spinning with all of this stuff. Help clear some of this up. Thank you. What stuff is your head spinning with, Sharon? The Diddy saga? Or are other things circling in your mind at night? So, he's waived the public reading. And what happened next is he sat at a table with his lawyers listening intently, occasionally nodding his head. Mark Agnifilo said that the chilling CNN video of Diddy beating Cassie at a hotel was deceptive and not in accordance with the actions that took place. So basically, the Cassie video is not on trial for that, but they're going to use it as an aggravating factor to show that he's got a pattern of brutality against women. But now they're attacking it and trying to get it suppressed. His lawyer actually said the video was sped up 50% or quicker and took things out of sequence. Yes, I am a bit throaty today. Let me have a quick chug. Thank you. So on the CNN video, the timestamp was covered up intentionally or not intentionally. I'm not here to say, said the lawyer, who accused CNN of deleting the footage it got from its source. So there was no information about where it was created. It's a misleading piece of evidence, they claimed. Sub-Romanian ordered the prosecution to provide a list of remaining witnesses to Diddy's lawyers by the end of the week. She said that the names will be released on an attorney's eyes-only basis. At the end of the hearing, Diddy waved to Janice, who arrived late, and tapped his chest. Janice was back in the public gallery, blew a kiss, and he blew one back. I don't know if any of you guys saw Tucker Carlson interviewed Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, and he's actually lost weight. Diddy's gained weight, but SBF has lost weight. It was a very fascinating interview. Put a one in the chat if you've seen Sam Bankman on Tucker getting interviewed from prison where he's housed with Diddy. Put a 2 in the chat if you have not. But it's a fascinating account. It gives a bit of insight into what the conditions are like in that jail. So Diddy's trial is due on May the 5th. And he's been held in the MDC in Brooklyn. Quite a lot of twos. Yeah, I would, if you're interested in SBF's story and the conditions, it's a good one. So Diddy's updated indictment was filed earlier this month, which added forced labor under the racketeering charges. Said that Diddy and his associates maintain control over some staff by not paying them and forcing them to work long hours with little sleep. It says that he caused these employees to believe they would be harmed, including by losing their jobs if they did not comply with his demands. So the SBF interview is on Tucker Carlson's channel. Tucker Carlson is one of my go-tos, as well as Candace Owens, Judge Napolitano, Gerald Celente, who's going to be coming on the channel for the first time on Monday. You know, the guy who says when all else fails, they take you to war. So it says, with respect to one employee, Combs used physical force, psychological harm, financial harm, reputational harm, and no threats of the same to cause the employee to engage in beep acts with Combs. Diddy was arrested in September, blah, blah, blah. We already know all that. So the Cassie footage shows him hitting and kicking her in the corridor. But now his lawyers are claiming that the footage was substantially altered in significant respects. A forensic analysis has showed it could have been sped up, and that would be grounds for it to be excluded from the trial. There you go, folks. They are trying to suppress the evidence. In court papers, Diddy's lawyers said CNN purchased the only known copy of the hotel surveillance footage, uploaded that footage into a free editing software, altered the video, and then destroyed the original footage. CNN has denied doctoring the clip and said in a statement that it never altered the video. But they'll use any old technicality to try and get him off, get this out of the court. The TV network said it did not destroy the original of the video and said that was retained by the source. Diddy addressed the video on Instagram. My behavior was inexcusable. Take full responsibility. Blah, blah, blah. Wow, wow, wow. Among those criticizing Diddy for trying to exclude the video is Ventura's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, He said, "It is not surprising that Combs would make a disingenuous argument to exclude the disturbing video from being shown to the jury in the upcoming trial. I am confident that the video fairly and accurately represents what happened, will be admitted into evidence, and that Combs will be held accountable for his depravity." Good. Let's hope so. All right, so if you have just tuned in, let's get rid of the diddler. Get rid of it. Whoops, my computer's doing crazy things. Right, if you've just tuned in, we've got three main news stories today. We have got the diddler, which we've just covered. And we're going to go over to, let me get rid of the pop-ups because it's causing my computer to go crazy. Let's get rid of the diddler for now. We're going to go over to Jane Doe exposing Diddy's private investigators and how she was manipulated. And then we're going to go over to the Gene Hackman story. And we're bringing in my special guest, Al, who is part of the Lost Mines YouTube channel. He came on and we went into some mines and tunnels on Halloween. And then, because he's worked in the crematorium funeral business for almost a decade, we're going to get Al's reaction to the suppression of the autopsy photos for Gene Hackman and get his reaction to the weirdness around the way the bodies were found, the state they were in, the supposed sequence of events. Let's get Jay up there next, shall we? While we do the Jay story. There he is. All right. So, where is it? Jay-Z's our case dismissal takes a shocking turn as his accuser, Jane Doe, hits back. She's now claiming that his PIs twisted her words to make it look like she retracted the R word in a taped conversation. In a recording released by his lawyers, Jane Doe seemingly walked back on her claim that he SA'd her. In these new documents obtained by TMZ, Doe, however, told the judge that the two investigators, Charlotte Henderson and James Butler, showed up uninvited to her home in Alabama. During the interaction, she claims she trembled the entire time they spoke to her, and she was in no way calm, natural, or at ease, as the men described her. She shut down the story that she told them 4 times Jay-Z was not involved in the alleged R-ing. I never stated, whether once or 4 times, that Mr. Carter did not assault me, she is claiming. She can be mostly heard responding, yeah, to the questions. At one point, she seemed to claim her attorney, Tony Busby, pushed her to sue Jay-Z. Now she says she never made any such statement about Busby to Henderson or any other person. She alludes that the tape was edited to paint her in an unflattering light. She says when she asked the men, "How does this help me?" during the conversation, she claims it sounds like she's asking what's in it for her. She insists that her question was the response to Henderson allegedly yelling, "We're trying to help you." In the tapes, she alleged to the investigators that her attorney pushed her to sue Jay-Z. He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him, with Jay-Z, she says in the recording. When investigators specifically say if she was speaking about Busby, she said, yeah. But now Busby said to the Mail, I spoke to Jane Doe immediately after being contacted by ABC. Her position is very clear and has never changed. The tape is a pieced together fabrication. The investigators tormented and harassed and tricked that poor woman and took what she said out of context and secretly recorded her. She stands by her claim that Jay-Z was there at the party and that he SA'd her. She was never wavered on that point, not once, Busby added. Earlier in the tape, when asked about her claim that Jay-Z R-worded her when she was 13, she appears to recant. For an excerpt of the audio tape, one of the investigators asked, he was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any beep acts towards you. Yeah, Jane Doe replied after previously naming him in the SA case, which was dismissed last month. On Wednesday's episode of Good Morning America, Alex Spiro detailed his efforts to clear his client's name and spoke about the tapes. People around Mr. Carter wanted to know what happened behind closed doors, and so they asked for her to be interviewed. The interview occurred and the tape speaks for itself. She says, in no uncertain terms, Mr. Carter did not do this. It is effectively a lie. The only reason Mr. Carter is even involved in this is because she was pushed to involve him, pushed to include him by a lawyer. Wow. In a statement provided to ABC News, Spiro denied that Jane Doe ever had any interaction with his client. Mr. Carter doesn't know Jane Doe, never met Jane Doe. There's no truth to any of this. Jay-Z said in a statement last month, when it was dismissed, it felt like a victory. The fictional tale they created was laughable, if not for the seriousness of the claims. I would not wish this experience on anyone. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed. The 1-800 lawyer gets to file a suit hiding behind Jane Doe. Blah, blah, blah. And then in February, it was revealed that Jay-Z sued Jane Doe and Busby as he claimed the lies and extortionate threats made by them led to a $20 million loss. He accused the defendant, in addition to attorney David Fortney, of malicious prosecution, abuse of process, civil conspiracy, and defamation. Jay-Z says the defendants were soullessly motivated by greed, in abject disregard of the truth and the most fundamental precepts of human decency. And then Diddy's attorney also released a statement taking aim at Busby, which read, a complete dismissal without a settlement by the 1-800 attorneys, yet another confirmation that these lawsuits are built on falsehoods, not facts. And we saw recently, let me get rid of that, and I will speak to the chat. While we await our guest from the funeral crematorium business, who's going to be telling us about suspiciousness in the Gene Hackman story. Christ, human decency cries the Satanist. So how's everyone doing in the chat this evening? You having a good March so far? We had our little scare with Ziggy with this horrible rash all over him. I'm not even going to show you a picture of it. That disappeared one day and came back the next. It was a really bizarre thing, and we didn't know. Can't even pronounce the name of it. But he's back eating like crazy. Got his appetite back. He's supposed to weigh 24 pounds at his age, and he's presently weighing 34 pounds. Yep. So what's this? Nana is shown aware that his name is being used to threaten content creators. Nana, my name is all over the internet with trolls and warped people and all kinds of insane behavior every day. People are sending me messages every day about either people talking crapola about me, people using my name, or whatever. And I don't give a hoot. Because there are so many drama queens in the world. And even acknowledging them, or talking about them, or responding to them only creates more drama that they feed off. Our focus is creating content trying to be at the forefront of news stories, trying to expose the killing fields of Ukraine. We had Alex on the other night, and everybody absolutely loved him. We're going to have more on. We've got Gerald Celente coming on Monday night. When all else fails, they take you to war, is one of his catchphrases. We have got Ryan Dawson coming on tomorrow at 1 p.m. UK. Should I be focusing, folks, on getting more and more brilliant guests? Put a 1 in the chat. Should I be focusing on idiots using my name? Put a 2 in the chat. What is the best use of my time and resources and mental capacity? I could spend half my life reporting channels and going troll hunting and watching garbage videos on subscriber channels that have got hardly any followers and drive myself insane. I have reached out to Lionel Susan. I'm trying to get him on at 9 tomorrow night. And if Lionel does not come on at 9 tomorrow night, I will do another monologue in this fashion of all of the latest news. So, the better you are doing on YouTube, the more light you are shining upon the demonic parasites trying to manipulate the world, the more the snide channels will try and cause division and trolling. And it is really a sad projection of their own inner lack of peace. It's their own shattered souls and disharmony that they are projecting upon me. I'm just gonna radiate love to them. Radiate love to them. You do not affect us. I don't hate you one bit for trolling me. I just hope that you get the professional mental health help that you need and live happily ever after. Demonic trolls, yes. They are demonic trolls. So I told my guy to pop into the live at 9. Let me just send him a quick WhatsApp. We are waiting, my friend. Click on the link. Here we go. I spent the day with Al. Al has his own YouTube channel. It's called The Lost Minds. He goes in tunnels and mines with his Johan. He was on. He came in and helped us with our Halloween special.
How you doing, Sean?
We went on. Doing great. We went underground in the Halloween special, and today my mind is just blown by Al's crematorium stories. He was working in the assisting the coroner. Honestly, I've come home and I've just told Jen nonstop about Al's stories, because Al now, after dealing with death his entire life, he's always been close to death, and he realizes all the silly little things people get caught up in, like trolls. Al realizes now that we're all going to get burnt up if we're going to be cremed, or we're going to get put underground and eaten by the worms. And as Marcus Aurelius said, we are but specks of dust in the universe.
Yes, we are.
1 minute we're created and 1 minute we're back. And the wheel of life goes round and round. Al, my friend, thank you. Thank you for putting life in perspective and really having such a... Al not only shut out all the idiots and the small worries from his life, he went one step further and he realized, and this is so meaningful, he realized that helping others is what he wanted to be about. Yes. When people come to him, he helps them, and he feels good from that. He's creating this good karma, and he's just an all-around brilliant, authentic guy. And we salute you, Al.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
So I'm gonna get Gene up on the screen. Where is he? Let me just find a picture of him. There he is. Share this tab. All right. There is Gene on the screen. Let me put you above me. There we go.
Yes.
And all of Al's links are in the description box. He wants me to go on the ground with him. I'm debating it because, like I said, he is the Grim Reaper. And all right, so the news headline that's just come out today: Gene Hackman's estate tries to block the release of shocking photos and records of the death investigation. What is your gut reaction to that, Al?
I kind of get why they want to block it, because from my old job and dealing with the deceased and families and all that, they want it very private. I don't want the world to see it. I think from what I read in that news article, they lived in very poor, although they were very wealthy, in poor conditions, possibly rat infested, mice infested conditions, because his wife died of a disease which you catch from them. That's my initial thought on it. Family possibly ashamed by how they lived, if you know what I mean. That's what I think.
All right, before I proceed with the story, then, have you ever done any services for celebrities?
I've cremated a couple.
Wow.
Not I didn't meet them or their family or anything like that, but I did cremate a couple back in the days down in London.
And you know what, you were telling me about your philosophy earlier, and you mentioned that it doesn't matter who you are in life. Once you're arriving in your hands and the coffin's getting put into the fire, you're all equal. So, celebrity or not, death is the great equalizer.
You come in the world the same way as everyone else, and you go out of the world the same way as everyone else. At the end of the road, there's no difference. You're all treated the same, and you can't take it with you.
Right. I'll come back with some more philosophy with Al shortly, but let's look at what it says here. So they're trying to keep the public from seeing potentially disturbing photos of the scene where they died. Wow. They were found deceased in separate rooms. They reckon that Betsy died around February 11th at age 65, while Gene died days later on February the 18th at age 95. His estate is attempting to stop the release of the results of the autopsies, as well as the investigation notes. They're also trying to stop the release of photos, as well as police body cam footage. The photos and video would potentially include images of Gene and Betsy's corpses, as well as the state of their home in the weeks after their deaths. Investigators ultimately determined that Betsy likely died first as a result of pulmonary symptoms caused by the rodent-borne hantavirus. Good grief.
You can't blame them for stopping the public to see the pictures. I went on a few coroner jobs picking up deceased people. It's not a pretty sight, and I wouldn't want people to see public to see my family members in that state. I lost both my brothers. One of them made the news, and luckily no pictures did. But it's not a nice thing for the world to see. I know they're big celebrities, and I don't think it's a nice thing to share those pictures. So don't blame them for doing what they did to block it. I don't blame them at all.
Al, when it comes to causes of death, are you able to see the causes of death for the people coming into the crematorium?
When you would put the paperwork on the system, yes, you would read the cause of death. Yes, always.
And do you think, when we've read that these two people died in the house a week apart, I mean, have you ever come across anything like that before? Is that extremely rare?
I've cremated husband and wives who've died within a few days apart, usually old age or heart attack. So they call it broken heart. That's happened a few times. Yeah, I've dealt with it. Yeah, nothing like this. Nothing like what's happened to them too.
So when you hear these stories of people dying of a broken heart, that is an actual fact verified by you in the crematorium business.
Well, I've witnessed it a few times. Yes, it's usually very, very elderly people. Husband goes, wife goes. Within days. Very sad. And they, from what I remember, it's a few years ago, it would be old age or something like that. Would be on the forms. Yeah.
Imagine if you've been with someone for such a very long time,
Mm.
your will to continue going without the other person.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah. And you'd see, you'd do a funeral of an elderly woman, and you see the husband in the funeral, and 2 weeks later you're cremating him. That happened a lot. That happens so much. Yeah. And
Wow.
yeah.
Well, in this case, they're seeing that Gene died a week later. Let me just read some more of this and get your reaction. So he died a week or so later, likely from heart disease, but it showed evidence of advanced Alzheimer's. Julia Peters, a representative of Hackman and Betsy's estate, asked a court to keep records related to the investigation sealed to protect the privacy of their family. She cited protections under the US Constitution's 14th Amendment, emphasized the potentially shocking nature of any photos and videos from the investigation. Peter said that Hackman and Betsy lived an exemplary private life for over 30 years and did not showcase their lifestyle. These images may already be blocked from the public, as New Mexico open records law prevents dissemination of sensitive images. According to Amanda Lavin, legal director of the nonprofit New Mexico Foundation for Open Government, that includes images of dead people. New Mexico's Inspection of Public Records Act may also allow the couple's estate to prevent the release of certain medical details. Despite that, Lavin told AP that most of the records of death investigation, as well as autopsy report, are considering public records in the state, so the state may not be able to block the release of every detail. I do think it does infringe on transparency if the court were to prohibit release of all the investigation records, including the autopsies. The whole idea of those records being available is to ensure accountability in the way those investigations are done. She also said there may be a public health concern for the release of the information, since Betsy reportedly died of the deadly but rare hantavirus. And then it goes on to the story about the will.